Around the world, they number in the hundreds of millions. They have little food, few clothes, inadequate shelter, and no hope. More than 100 million children under the age of 5 die every year from preventable diseases. It is to these poorest of the poor that God has called Medical Ambassadors International to minister. To end the cycle of poverty and conditions that cause so much disease and suffering around the world, Medical Ambassadors has developed a breakthrough strategy called Community Health Evangelism, or CHE. CHE's mission is to transform nations through an interwoven, seamless combination of disease prevention, evangelism, and community development. CHE is not a disaster or relief project. It is a comprehensive development strategy designed to make permanent, long-term improvements in people's lives. True, lasting development can only take place as people's hearts are transformed by the love and forgiveness Christ brings to their lives. The CHE strategy is based upon 3 essential elements. The first is community ownership. CHE works and is effective because it mobilizes the community to help itself. Solutions are not imposed from the outside. Ministry is undertaken by leaders, elders, and volunteers in the community. They are the ones who implement CHE. Secondly, CHE is based upon employing appropriate technologies by utilizing local resources. Communities in developing nations cannot afford to import food and materials. They must be encouraged and taught to improve their lives with what is already available to them. Simply put, if wood is available, use wood. If rock is available, use rock. If only dirt is available, use dirt. Finally, CHE does not just treat symptoms, but directly addresses the root causes of poverty, hunger, and disease. More than just treating sickness, CHE emphasizes disease prevention by eliminating the lack of hygiene and poor sanitation that cause so much sickness and disease. Like showing a small Philippine village how to transform a filthy lake, a breeding ground for cholera and malaria.
Sometimes the changes of community health evangelism border on the miraculous. I was here 3 months ago and it was a town dump. Today I returned to find that this place has been transformed by the work of the community itself into a beautiful lake.
Polluted drinking water is a major source of sickness and disease in the developing world. CHE teaches how to develop and protect clean water sources, how to construct latrines utilizing local materials, and teaches the importance of washing hands and personal hygiene in preventing disease. To reduce transmission of diseases, CHE has taught villagers to wash and sun-dry their dishes and utensils, a simple but life-saving step. Cooking fires represent a significant danger to small children. They also consume a great deal of firewood. In some areas, women spend 5 hours a day just gathering and hauling firewood. CHE shows people how to make simple mud stoves that contain the fire, keep children safe, and at the same time use substantially less firewood. Rather than bringing food and protein supplements in from the outside, CHE helps villagers focus on growing more nutritious foods in larger quantities right there in the needy community.
Praise God the Almighty for this CHE program, that it made our people aware that we should produce our own food in our own front yard or maybe backyard, if only to be self-sustaining.
CHE teaches how to use a technique called double digging and natural fertilizers to improve crops and to increase harvests. Rather than making a village dependent upon outside aid, CHE helps develop innovative local industries that raise the standard of living for the entire community, like making bricks, roofing tiles, and water pots. Digging a pond and raising tilapia fish for high-protein food and as a cash crop to sell is another example of the micro-industries CHE has helped establish in developing countries around the world. Because Che is community-based and utilizes local resources, it is ongoing and sustainable. As Che workers guide and teach, help and encourage, they earn the respect and trust of their neighbors, placing them in a unique position to share the good news of the gospel. As many as 1 out of every 3 people touched by Che have come to Christ. One research study in the Philippines found that 90% of those who received a Che home visit prayed to receive Christ and were discipled. Each week, a new church is planted somewhere in the world as a direct result of Che's impact. More than 400 missionary organizations and church denominations have looked to MAI and the Che program. They have seen how Che multiplies on its own as villages disciple their neighbors and implement Che strategies. A recent independent year-long study to evaluate Che's effectiveness was directed by internationally known author and expert on world missions, Dr. James Engel.
I've just returned from an exciting trip to the Kasai Oriental province in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in Central Africa. This had to be one of the most encouraging trips of my life. There are 2 things that are really unique about Che program. First of all, it's the Che themselves, the community health evangelists going to homes. When they're talking about their experience with God, is that evangelism? Absolutely. It's joining another person in their pilgrimage where they are and being willing to walk with them forward. That's what the Che's do. They walk with them forward. Secondly is this unique blend of spiritual and practical. The gospel is not an abstract set of propositions as it's often presented. It's got to touch real life. This is not the only ministry doing this, but it's rare to blend them in one program. And it's totally convincing to me, the power of this. This has restored my faith that if we get off of some of the directions that we've done before, but just focusing on evangelism and get serious about building the rest of it, we've got a lot to be thankful for out there. The world is changing. And look what God's doing. These people are being helped because somebody loves them.
Che is having an enormous impact throughout the world, from Cambodia to Argentina, from India to Tanzania, from Haiti to Mongolia. Che villages are seeing disease and illness reduced, hunger and malnutrition declining, new enterprises breaking the bonds of poverty and want. Che empowers those who are poor, needy, sick, and without hope to lift themselves out of poverty and to experience the life-changing message of the gospel. Your partnership is essential to sustain Che and to bring help and hope and life where there is none. Pray for medical ambassadors and for our Che workers. Invest your contributions in a strategy with proven results, lives changed for eternity. Visit one of our projects firsthand or attend a Training of Trainers seminar to learn more about Che. Contact us to become a part of what God is doing through medical ambassadors and Che. Invest in transforming lives and hearts for the cause of Christ around the world.